Welcome to the Hennessey Podcast. My name is Alex, your self-proclaimed host. I'm here with Adam.
Self-proclaimed guest.
Permanent guest. Something like that. Yeah.
All right, well.
Welcome to the Hennessey Podcast, where we talk all things cars. And like I said on the last episode, we're back again. And here we are, being consistent. That's all that matters in the podcast game. So today we are talking about how we became car people. Mm-hmm. Basically, everybody at the Hennessey company, the Hennessey organization, which is about 115 people deep now. I mean, in 2016, it was 12 people, and now it's 2025. And
you want to know who was employee number 12?
You.
Your boy.
This
right
guy
here.
right here.
Yeah.
Crazy, yeah. So we've both been here for a long time. Crazy.
Yeah. I can't quite move past yet. The beginning, before we began this, you said that there was only one answer to this question of what vehicle got people in our age group into cars. So, and you seem to know
overarching
the answer
question, how did we become car people? Mm-hmm. And my answer is simple, and it's not a car specifically.
Okay, yeah, I can entertain
that. But it's 3 words.
Okay.
It's so simple.
Still waiting on it. Very
simple. How I became a car guy is Fast and Furious.
Oh, okay.
Like, I vividly remember commercials for the original movie being advertised on television, and I was like, whoa, that looks awesome. And then I bought it on VHS, or my parents did, and then I watched it a lot.
So you weren't into cars before this?
No, that's not true. I was very much into cars since birth.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
There was probably a car that got you to be like, whoa, that's cool. What was that?
Yeah. I guess I remember being very attracted to cars. Mm-hmm. That's a weird way to say that.
Well,
but, just thinking, whoa, that looks cool.
Yeah, aesthetics are all you have to go on at that point.
The first car I remember being like, ooh, I want that. Vividly remember kindergarten, so that's like age 4 or 5, telling my teacher, hey, I'm going to buy a Dodge Viper one day. Oh. And I'll tell you why. There is a NSYNC music video. NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. I get confused between those two boy bands of the 90s.
Sure.
But they did a music video where they're driving a Viper, like a Gen 2 Viper, in like a mountain road or something.
So I think we can track your beginning to cars directly back to NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, one of the two.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So,
well, hey,
for whatever the Viper's
what did it for you.
Yeah. Second love would be the 360 Ferrari.
Okay.
The Modena. Beautiful car. Mm-hmm. Very elegant V8. So those were kind of like the first initial loves. But then once I got a little bit older, I fell deeply in love as a kid. Had a car models, had Hot Wheels, whatever, but fell deeply in love with a red Ferrari F40.
Oh, okay.
And that still to this day is in my top 3.
Yeah.
It's number 3.
Have you gotten to drive one yet?
No.
Okay.
I haven't. Have not driven an F40 yet. But manual, twin turbo, V8, Ferrari, raw, no nannies.
Checks every box.
It spins the tires. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I think I got my start playing Need for Speed on PlayStation 1 or something like that. Might have been a little bit later, but
that's a big part of my journey too.
Yeah, because there was a Ferrari in that I can't remember what it was now, but I remember that is as soon as I unlocked that's the only car that I ever wanted to use. And then I also had model cars lined up in my room. Lamborghini Mercy, always had the doors up on the model. Yeah. Because you can't not.
Yeah.
And then like a couple concept cars and stuff. And then I also, funny enough, I had a car calendar that every month you'd rip it off. Or I think it was every day you rip it off. It was a new car.
Nice.
There were 2 Hennessey cars in that calendar.
Heck yeah.
When I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
So before I even knew. And now here we are.
Wow.
But yeah, I think Need for Speed was my start. Backstreet Boys was yours. So
yeah, that sums it up, really.
I think so. Yeah. Do you still share the same allure to the Viper that you did back when you were a child?
That's a good question. Sometimes you shouldn't meet your heroes.
That's fair. You've met them, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I wouldn't want a Gen 2 Viper.
Sure.
Now,
I mean, yeah.
A Gen 5 Viper? Oh, ACR, different story, you know? That's Calvo, Motorsports, sequential, 6-speed, twin turbo, 2,000 horsepower, 2,500 horsepower ACR. That'd be awesome. But, you know, the Gen 1 through 4 Viper, I'm just not really interested in. There's 2 exceptions to that rule, though. There's a Green Goblin Gen 4 Hennessey Viper.
I know the car. Yeah.
Big wing, Hennessey front bumper. Gosh, that car's cool. And then same car, but in black. It was the Neiman Marcus edition. There's like 2 of them. I mean, they're actually pretty rare cars.
Yeah.
Twin turbo, 1,000 horsepower. Those are cool. Other than that, Viper is just Gen 5 only. Weirdly enough, there's a really specific Gen 5 option that would be sick that no one really knows about. A company called Prefix used to sell some Viper modifications. They kind of coined the 9-liter upgrade for it.
Oh wow, okay.
Like the little stroker engine package. Pretty sick. That would be cool, but the cooler thing that they did is they built a Targa Gen 5. Like custom.
Really?
Yeah. They built, I think it's 4 or 2, or it's so low. Like no one did it.
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple go across, bring a trailer for like big money, like $400,000. I think there's one for sale actually right now. It's so sick. A Gen 5 ACR Targa.
Does that ruin the
It
ACR?
It might.
Definitely
Because
does,
when you take the roof off, it's definitely less stiff.
Yeah, unless you can do all the chassis kind of rigidity underneath that you want, but it's never quite the same. I feel
It probably ruins the car. But in theory,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that with a couple thousand horsepower and sequential.
Yeah, you just do a roll cage, and then you have 2,000 horsepower sequential, and then you don't worry about the stiffness, and then you're going really fast with the roof off. But I wonder if the aero is just completely jacked up, because it's obviously not designed that way.
Yeah.
But so cool in theory. Yeah, what was your, car? Need for Speed, but what was the car?
Yeah, the Mercy was mine for a long time. I think it was the first.
Would you still buy one?
What?
Sorry, would you still buy one?
Would I still like a manual one? I think so.
Man, those have gotten big money.
I know. Yeah, but like an SV Mercy or something, it still does it for me. I think that was like the first car that doors went up, and I thought it was really cool. It looked really cool. I had a neighbor back home that had a purple Diablo though. That was also pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I think I was a Lambo guy kind of early on.
Yeah.
I think that has transitioned in terms of like kind of the supercar world of the Lambo, Ferrari, McLaren, those kind of things. I've gotten a little bit away from the Lambo game, and I think a little bit more towards the Ferrari game.
We should segue into that. So that's kind of how we got into it, and there's obviously a long middle story there, and we'll get to that on other episodes. But what would you buy now? Because it doesn't sound like you're like jumping to buy a Huracan. No,
the Huracan. I mean, I personally think the Huracan's a great car. It just, to me, in terms of like the supercar world, to me, what the supercar world is supposed to be, or what it used to be when I was growing up, and I would look at those cars and see those things, was a uniqueness and a rarity and a pinnacle of what some of this automotive performance and artwork could be. And I feel like the Huracan has become so common amongst the supercars that it doesn't really qualify as a supercar for me anymore.
Wow.
Same could be said with several of their other models. I think from a business standpoint, they're doing great. That's what you want to do as a car brand, is sell a lot of cars. But in the stuff that I just mentioned, I don't think they quite check the boxes anymore. But Ferrari's got a couple of those cars, but I think they do still carry a lot of the unique factor. The SP3s. I think I could get me. I will always be an F40 guy. But in terms of like modern ones, I think I would land on
SP3 is tight.
Yeah.
I'll say this, and I'll look right into the camera when I say it. The SP3 is worlds cooler than the F80.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I said it. The F80 is the loft replacement, and it has 6 cylinders.
Yeah. I think in the car world, even if it can make the same power kind of thing. Oh man, I hate to sound like a guy that says no replacement for displacement.
But
having the V8, the V10s, the V12s, those kind of things just simply matter. Like,
it's about drama.
Yeah.
Lamborghini 100%. Is the best company in the world at selling drama. I'll just say that. I think they do so good, and they get it. Like the Revuelto, new hybrid, whatever, but they still kept the V12 and didn't forget about the drama. Man, the F80. Oh my gosh, what? They replaced the loft, the halo car of Ferrari, with a 6-cylinder. I feel like Enzo Ferrari would be just throwing up right now.
Yeah.
Regardless of how it looks.
Yeah. That being said, again, just quickly segueing through some of this stuff here, for a question I was going to ask you is, you got started on a Viper. That's what made you a car guy. What kind of stuff keeps you a car guy? And for me personally, it's drama. I mean, my BMW.
Yeah.
It's not.
So Adam has an E46 LS swapped Pro charged BMW with a T56 that makes 550 wheel.
Yeah, like 600 wheel. Yeah.
600 wheel. Don't want to shortchange you. It's a fun, fast car. He's got skinny tires on it. It blows the tires off. It's fun. It's dramatic. It's loud.
It's stupid loud.
Stupid loud. There's no hood. It makes tons of whooshing noises with the Pro Charger. It's sick. And he built it, by the way.
Yeah.
You built it.
With a lot of help from the guys here. But yeah, and it's not anything to look at. It's got dents all over it. It's scratched up. It's not in the best shape. But I tell you what, I'd rather drive that thing over a lot of the other supercars around there because the smile that it puts on my face.
Yeah.
Because the overwhelming cacophony of supercharger and blow off and V8 and cam and everything, it just turns into this perfect experience of just drama.
Can we just wind that back for 1 second? Say that word again.
Cacophony.
I'll be honest. I've never heard that word.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it like symphony?
Essentially a combination of a lot of different sounds kind of all coming together at once.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Never heard that. Cacophony.
Yeah.
Our Google guy really can put it up on the...
I use that properly.
Yeah. That's weird.
Because of that, it's something that I absolutely love to drive, and I haven't gotten rid of it yet. For those reasons, I'm yet to find anything that could replace it and give me the same sort of feelings.
Yeah.
So, do you have, I guess, something like that, or what keeps you a car guy now?
What keeps me juiced is excitement and fear and uncharted territory.
Okay.
I've been fortunate, blessed, lucky, all the things to be able to drive and experience a lot of cool cars. Like really, really cool stuff. Like McLaren P1, Venom F5, supercars, hypercars, a good range.
Yeah.
Not all of them, no Chiron, no F40, no F50.
There are still boxes to check.
Yeah. I it's like Pokemon. I love catching them all.
Yeah.
And getting to experience all of them is a very attractive goal to me. Of like, I just want to taste everything.
Yeah.
But in terms of like something that I would buy or drive or own or spend money on for myself, I want to be scared.
Sure. I
want to be put in absolute fear of like, I need to be really focused and I need to use my skills. And I've had a lot of driver training. I've been to a lot of schools, lots of track days, lots of track time. I'm doing some racing later this year. So, and I've been really fast. I've been big speeds in fast cars, well above 200. And that's the feeling that I chase. It's like a drug, and you start with a little bit and then you keep taking more. And at some point, it's like it takes so much to get you high.
I know. You are a hard man to please when it comes to performance stuff.
I am picky and honestly probably annoying. but I'm just, I don't know. I want to be scared. So I'm going to segue that into my top 3 of all time. Because this has been a 5 to 10 year journey of me really trying to answer this question, because like anybody who's not a car guy or like a kind of car guy, you start talking about cars and they're like, oh well, yeah, you know what's your favorite car? And I'm like, how do you answer that? Like I can't answer that. Give me a budget or give me a genre, like
a scenario, track day car, daily, that kind of thing.
Exactly, right. But I've narrowed down my top 3 all time, and I'm going to ask you what yours are too.
Okay.
This is a big project for me to make this decision.
Yeah.
So until further notice, my top 3 cars of all time.
This could evolve.
Could evolve tomorrow, but for today. Number 1.
Is this, wait. So is this in order?
Yeah. I'm going top. Okay, I'll go 3 to 1.
Okay.
Number 3, Ferrari F40.
Okay.
Twin turbo V8, manual. Big, nice turbo lag that hits really hard. Classic look. Will never go out of style. Holds its value. All the things. Ferrari, like Enzo, Pininfarina, everything. So sick. Gosh, wow. I just love that car. And it's a childhood thing for me.
Yeah.
Number 2, Venom GT. I could talk a long time about this car, but the Venom GT is the most misunderstood car, or one of the most misunderstood cars of all time. Twin turbo V8, roof comes off, manual, amazing horsepower, 1-to-1 power to weight ratio, really fast, had the world record for fastest car in the world, 270 miles an hour. I've personally spent pretty good seat time in it. Wow. Have a personal memory with my wife and I in the car, like great. It's misunderstood because its Achilles heel was that it was based on a Lotus.
Yep.
We only kept about 10% of the Lotus, like just like the glass and the cockpit, but everything else was so different. But to the world, it was like, oh, well, it's not your own car. And that's what led to the F5. Right. That's a different podcast. Amazing car. Gosh, I could just talk so long about it. Number 1, this is weird. No one would guess this, but it's so sick. Aston Martin Victor.
It's
a one of one, like a true one of one. Some rich guy commissioned Aston Martin and they made one, and he probably paid 10 or 15 or $20 million, like probably some obscene amount. Front engine, which I love, rear drive, which I love, manual, V12, no hybrid, no nothing. It looks, wow.
It's their Viper. Maybe this is full circle for you.
Yeah, I mean, there are similarities, yeah. But it's like the biggest balls man sports car.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, I mean, it's a hypercar because it's a one of one and so much money, but it's also not, because it's not some mid-engine 300 mile per hour thing. It's a rear drive manual.
Yeah.
It's classic. It's vintage and inspired, but all modern, carbon fiber, everything. Oh man.
Yeah, I could definitely see that as a top car for you, at least.
Yeah. Can you go 3, 2, 1 for us?
Of cars that you could just buy, because that's where my struggle comes in. Is the fact that I like so much drama that typically cars off the shelf don't offer that.
Right.
I think we both share the number 3 spot with the F40 for all of the same reasons.
Cool.
My 2 and 1 get a little messy, but oh man, see, I think I'm gonna end up on a. It's gonna end up on a C7, either Z06 or ZR1.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Because they don't come out of the box rowdy enough, but you can do very little to them to give me the satisfaction of the rowdiness and whatnot. I've had pucker moments in C7s and a lot of really great, experiences in those that give me a little bit of that nostalgic feel. And then I think my number one might be the VGT. I have gotten to ride in a couple, and I have spent a very short amount of time behind the wheel of one, but they are, like you said, in kind of a much, 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 much more refined version of what I was saying about my BMW.
Honestly, yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, manual. You've got a third pedal. You've got all of the sounds you could possibly ever want. The V8, the turbo spooling. It's nothing but drama on wheels there.
Yeah.
For that, so I think that takes my number one spot.
Final question. In a realistic scenario, and I would say, it's hard to really say this as a realistic thing, but I think it's reasonably attainable for somebody to grind their face off, work crazy hard, do whatever, start a business, do a thing, save some money, and I think everybody. That's a hard way to word it. What supercar would you buy right now?
Yeah.
Under $300,000.
Oh.
Yeah. Like somewhat in the ballpark of reality. Like I would say for me, it is nowhere near reality to buy a Chiron right now.
Yeah.
Like it's just not. But could I maybe swing a $250,000 car? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe in 5 years.
I think, I might have to change my number two answer.
Yeah.
From a C7 to a 720. I've also had some fun experiences in 720s, and they do provide a lot of drama as well, or they can with, again, very little tweaks. I know you're a little bit of a fan.
Yeah, okay.
But
so what would you buy? A 720?
720.
Yeah. I think I'm going to share that answer with you. I currently have a very deep down luscious itch for a 720 Spider. I can't even remember if we chatted about this on the last episode.
I can't either.
But yeah, we did. We'll expand a little bit then. 720 Spider. Floor price currently. I mean, I worst case, I think it's really close to the floor price.
Yeah.
The coupes from 2018, which I would never buy a 2018 coupe. They weren't fully sorted yet. They had issues. But those are tapping as low as 190 for a decently clean, and a super clean is still like 200, 205, 210 for a coupe with like 20,000 miles.
Yeah.
All right. Spiders traditionally hold their value better with McLaren, which is good. They didn't start the Spider till 2020. They were more sorted out. They're a little bit newer. They have less miles. So you can get the right 720 Spider for somewhere between $230 and $250. So not cheap, a lot of money. I get it. But the roof comes off. It's a hard top convertible, right? So I'm not a big soft top guy. My wife loves a convertible, and I love the convertible when the roof is down. But the hard top is the best of both worlds.
Right.
Because when it's up, it looks as good or better than the coupe.
Right.
Actually, the 720, I think it looks better because of how the haunches are. It's automatic top. I had a C7 Grand Sport. The Targa is cool. I have a Supra Targa. It's cool, but man, it's just annoying. I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's not that it's hard or complicated, but
Yeah.
I don't want to get up and like put it in the trunk, and it's just annoying.
Yeah.
So pressing the button is awesome.
Starts raining at a light. What do you do?
All of that.
Yeah.
720 is a supercar. There's no questions. 720 is very fast. Very if you're driving a 720, it's very likely that you're not going to encounter anything or very few things that will beat you in like a roll race.
Yeah, you just roll up on one on the highway, you're going to get mopped up pretty consistent.
I have to take that into account for me because we live in Houston, the street racing capital of the world. Yeah. And there's fast cars that roll around. Like you will just be driving and see some car on a drag pack, slicks. And it's like, oh. So what I don't want to do is buy some expensive car, Aston Martin Vantage or something, and then get mopped up by some supercharged Mustang, 22-year-old guy who just
my BMW that rolls up.
Or that. Yeah, I don't want that, right?
Clapped out
so that's part of my equation. So 720's fast. It's a supercar. The doors go up. It has valet factor and presence. I love cars for me, but there is a fun aspect when you pull up to the valet and it's like, oh, cool, status, right?
Yeah.
It's fun. That's a small percentage for me, but it is in the equation.
Yeah, sure, it's a factor.
Downsides, McLaren is McLaren. They've had issues. I think their newer cars are much more sorted and the interiors are better. Positives, though, on that are you can get extended service contracts with McLaren. You can renew it for up to 10 years. You can buy certified pre-owned and get 1 to 2 years of actual warranty. So you can get around the whole questionable, reliable McLaren thing. You got to pay for it, but you can have peace of mind while owning a McLaren.
There,
So I think it checks every box.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm a little bit surprised that we agree on the same vehicle there, but I don't think there's really much of an argument against it.
Yeah.
For what you can get for the money, especially because they're modifiable friendly. To an extent, you can get 900,000 horsepower out of them without doing a whole lot.
Yeah, they're fast. They're impressive.
They'll do burnouts. They'll do what you want them to do. Yeah. So that's a fun car.
Yeah. All right, that wraps it up.